So this is our initiative called Gender Enlightening. Gender Enlightening is a new concept that we would like to focus more on the organizational intervention because we believe in the cultures and economy and the labor market in Vietnam. Organization barrier, organization development, and the structure actually really impact on individual mindset, behavior, and decision. So instead of spending so much money into surveying and working on to see what's truly going on with gender equity in Vietnam, we run to bring in the concept of gender enlightening. So this concept and saying this gender enlightening, we would like to talk about from gender learning to gender enlightening organization. We want to balancing cost and benefit of gender equity at work. And by what we can do with it, we define the concept of gender enlightening. In an organization is a practical period for organization to self-study, self-correct, self-balance, and self-transform their entire organization, gender equity at the best knowledge of their core value and working culture. So you see in here in the four circle for organizations going back from this gender learning, studying, to self-correcting, to self-balancing, and truly transform into gender enlightening, or if you can put it, depend on the goal of the organization, up to the truly and genuine gender equity. The concept that we actually use is when we look closely into an organization. This is an iceberg. And in organization, when all the risks and all the work among individual and collective people, the interaction and the intervention from the organizational perspective can influence and over and actually can see from four factors that facing business and organization every day. So imagine that this is in an iceberg. When you look at the risk, then the conflict, the chain, and the crisis, the deeper you look closer and deeper into these four factors that really look going down to very not just tip of the iceberg, but really going down to the deep down of this ocean, where the icebergs is, facing their problem. Then we would be able to understand to what extent organizational development and intervention would actually influence people's behavior and decision in gender equity. To make it simple, if simply we just look at the tips of the iceberg and we look what is the risk if a company or an organization don't want to comply with or don't respect gender equity, and we interview people, we might see some of the picture, but on tip of the iceberg, because people will not telling you the true story, and you don't see the real story based on a decision. The information you get is right at the moment of interviewing. So we using design thinking to incorporate and make this concept of gender enlightening. We believe that gender enlightening would cut of spinning the circle of an understanding gender equity. And we believe that it could promote cost-effective solution that embedded in inclusive behavior and organization system and processes. And it can help organizations make a quantum leap towards true diversity. Why? Because we have three level of intervention. Number one is we try to mainstreaming. If you look at the icon comics here, we're talking about the very famous saying in Vietnamese, talking about where people can translate, make a standard, translate the standard, and apply standard. It's in very various way that make it difficult not only for those who make, also apply and translate. We call it 3 copy 7 version. This comic explains the challenge that standard maker, interpreter, and applier has been facing seeking cohesion in gender equity in Vietnam, from policies to practices. And gender enlightening, simplifying and align standard and process system to embed gender equity in the business bottom line decision. But first of all, mainstreaming. Mainstreaming is so important because we see so many companies having a wonderful and so lengthy and very detailed policy, but in fact they are very much overlapping. They are confusing and misleading, and with interpretation and application. It doesn't go from policy to practice. It's a huge gap. Number two is looking at the learning curve. Well, this is from the mindset of changing when we're starting to learn about gender equity to actually apply it and make it change and truly make it become a real benefit for the whole organization. We think that a number of dedicated professionals, from manager to supervisor in an organization company, I'm sure that whether they are below, in par, or above the learning curve in gender equity at work. So many companies calling us and say that we don't understand the new law, how we do it, what actually do it, and how to really cooperate into the business decision. There's no particular guy on it. So we hope that the concept of gender enlightening organization will be able to enable individual to leverage, to stand their strong ground, leverage team wisdom, and lead the learning curve. Finally, this is very inspiring for those who believe. And you look at this, comics, inside, enlighten inside out. Many believe that company only practice gender diversity due to the pressure from outside. If you see that it's the external light going through the lamp in the comic from outside. But gender enlightening organization, when you truly understand the concept of it and want to make the goal becoming a more gender enlightening organization, they will make their own lightning inside out with aligned mind and aligned decision that balance gender equity with business bottom line. We're also having tool for it. We're practicing using it for companies and organizations over the past year because we believe that the tool will be an enable relevant partners in an organization to build and act on in and act consistently until the transformation is complete, and they are developed to be user-centric and cohesive at best. Now look, you're looking on the screen over here. We call it the organizational learning platform. We believe that all members in an organization should be on the same page about gender enlightening, how far they want to go in gender equity and how to get there. Basically, is a goal. It's a goal of gender equity. You make a specific goal, you know where to get to the goal. So this platform allows all manpower in any layer of management. You have to get 24/7 access to a ready-made and customized knowledge platform with a real-time progress tracking tool suite. So hopefully in a amount of time, depend on the commitment, dedication, and most important, alignment of the team about gender enlightening, they will be able to achieve the goal in gender equity. The second tool that we have a design thinking training material. All the training material, like you see, we turn it into comics and make specific to identify the behavior, make a decision what the level of seriousness or how to solve it, and to what extent to make decision for sanction, which one is need to you have systematic violation, or which one is you actually using different warning or sanction level. It's very difficult for company right now. So we translate that onto training material because we are able to talk about it based on comics and infographic. It coming from survey, training, and decision making to make the story not too intense and people come to agreement easier. This tool is this mainstreaming strategy on business model canvas that we we would like to bring the whole organization, including leaders, employee, to get to the goal consensus, making it and really creating consensus on business model canvas, because they could be a tool to mainstream all relevant idea, proposal, initiative from gender equity into business model. We see so many leaders, CSR leaders, struggling of presenting their idea to their leader, including in very big company, and they don't know whether the idea was good or not, how much it costs, and what it benefit. But this tool would actually allow decision maker to easily calculate, balance, and agree on the cost and the benefit of gender enlightening initiative, and especially their measurable impact on business strategy. So these three tools, together with what we could be able to bring in the different concept for gender enlightening organization. So from March to September 2019, we having about 200 employee and managers of all genders participate in our online platform, comics-based survey about their perception on gender enlightening organization in Vietnam. And we have, some of the initial information that will generally giving new concept and more, comprehensive about gender enlightening organization, where we actually having the picture of all employee, what they think about gender enlightening organization. We have data for what they could be thinking about gender-based empathies, equal pay, equal career opportunity, equal performance evaluation, and fair management skill. And so we also have the different perspective with employer, what they think about gender enlightening, and we having a quite different perspective comparison between employee and an employer. But going really close into the similar thought, and we identify what need to be looking at this and how far we get to know about each organization. What is the step, what the process and progress they made, coming from a gender learning organization to gender self-correcting to gender self-balancing, and how much they actually transform into gender enlightening organization. So if you're interested in this concept and this way, the new approaches, we hope that we'll look at in one of a innovation we use in both technology and design thinking to create truly practical and practical platform that get people come to agreement easily than piecemeal and pragmatic solution.